The theme of this passage is metaphysical naturalism, a philosophical worldview that holds that only natural elements, principles, and relations exist, as studied by the natural sciences. The corresponding theological perspective is religious or spiritual naturalism, which rejects supernatural concepts and explanations found in many religions. According to geologist Stephen Schaffersman, metaphysical naturalism proposes that nature encompasses all that exists throughout space and time, and consists only of natural elements subject to the laws of physics and can be explained by science and philosophy. Arthur C. Danto defines naturalism as a philosophical monism that is continuously explained through natural methods. Despite the popularity of naturalism among philosophers, theologians tend to be less enthusiastic about the concept. Alvin Plantinga, a well-known critic of naturalism, argues that it is not a religion. The story focuses on the theme of metaphysical naturalism, which forms the basis of science according to Kate and Vitali's philosophy. It is rooted in three core philosophical beliefs: the objectivity and consistency of reality, the ability of humans to perceive reality accurately, and the existence of rational explanations for elements of the real world. While philosophy is implicit in every decision we make, it is essential for scientific inquiry to take place. Methodological naturalism is the adoption of philosophical naturalism within the scientific method, and it must be adopted as a working hypothesis for science to succeed. Contemporary naturalists have diverse beliefs, but most have adopted some form of materialism. According to metaphysical naturalism, evolution is a natural process of emergence, and humanity's existence is not by intelligent design. Metaphysical naturalists do not believe in a soul or spirit, and consciousness is also susceptible to the same evolutionary principles that select other traits. Cognitive sciences can provide accounts of how cultural and psychological phenomena evolve through natural processes. The story revolves around metaphysical naturalism and its association with Hinduism and ancient Greek philosophy. The concept of immateriality and nothingness of the soul is explored, with the argument that it cannot be differentiated from nothingness. The development of naturalistic thought in ancient Hinduism and Greek philosophy is traced, with a focus on the different schools of thought that emerged. The debate between mechanistic and teleological worldviews is examined, with Aristotle proposing a middle way that relies on the concept of nature. The decline of metaphysical naturalism with the rise of Christianity and Islam is discussed, and the lack of commitment to naturalism in medieval philosophy is noted. Overall, the story is one of the evolution of philosophical thought and the search for a middle ground between opposing worldviews. Immanuel Kant was not opposed to naturalism, but he did reject reductionist materialist positions in metaphysics. Friedrich Wilhelm Joseph von Schelling and George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel developed nature philosophy, which sought to understand nature as a whole and its theoretical structure. Ludwig Feuerbach's anthropological materialism, influenced by Hegel, inspired Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels's historical materialism. Naturalism also emerged in German materialism with prominent members such as Ludwig Buchner, Jacob Molschat, and Karl Voigt. However, the concept of matter was challenged in the early 20th century, where matter was found to be a form of energy. Despite this, naturalism has experienced a resurgence in contemporary analytic philosophy, including advancements in metaphysics, ethics, philosophy of language, and more notably, Ayn Rand's objectivism represents a politicized version of naturalism within a capitalist ethical idealism framework. While naturalism is not widely embraced by the global population, it has gained popularity in the natural sciences and Anglo-American, analytic philosophical communities, with prominent defenders such as J.J.C. Smart, David Mallet Armstrong, and Daniel Dennett. Contemporary naturalism is a result of scientific evidence supporting the theory that physical effects are caused by physical causes. As science advanced and its explanatory power increased, methodological naturalism and later metaphysical naturalism became more widespread. This led to the diffusion of positions associated with metaphysical naturalism, such as existentialism. Post-Kantian philosopher Quentin Milesu proposed speculative materialism, which strengthens classical materialist ideas. In the context of debates about creation and evolution, advocates for metaphysical naturalism argue against the supernatural and for empirical evidence supporting their position. Metaphysical naturalists also argue that there are no disembodied minds, including God, because all known mental activity has a physical basis. On the other hand, philosophers and theologians such as Victor Reppert, William Hasker, and Alvin Plantinga argue for dualism, claiming naturalism cannot account for reason. The argument from reason states that if naturalism is true, there would be no way of knowing it except by a fluke, eliminating the grounds from which it reaches its truth. In summary, the debate between naturalism and supernaturalism continues to inspire philosophical inquiry into the nature of reason, knowledge, and existence itself. In his evolutionary argument against naturalism, Alvin Plantinga, a philosophy of religion professor at Notre Dame, contends that humans' ability to possess reliable, true beliefs through the process of evolution is unlikely without guidance from a higher power, such as God. David Kahan of the University of Glasgow argues that supernatural theism, as detailed in Plantinga's theory, is needed to justify this belief. Plantinga claims that naturalism and evolution contradict each other and provide a skeptical argument against the reliability of our cognitive faculties. He does not criticize the theory of evolution itself, but rather the belief that humans evolved in line with it, as this contradicts naturalism. However, Brandon Fidelson and Elliot Sober argue that Plantinga must also disprove the idea that at least a non-negligible minority of our beliefs can be true. Critics like Daniel Dennett and Richard Carrier argue that a cognitive apparatus for truth-finding can evolve through natural selection. Despite these criticisms, Plantinga's argument raises questions about the compatibility of naturalism and evolution and the justification for reliable beliefs without the concept of God.